Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I'm just going to be doing a recap video of SEMA 2018 and SevenStock 21, also known as SevenStock 2018, depending on how you want to think about it. So, basically, if you guys saw on the channel, I did cinematic videos for both events, both SEMA and SevenStock, and you guys seem to really like it. Obviously, I really like the events, but it was such a jam-packed day that I really didn't have time to address the camera at either event. SEMA was really loud, SevenStock was really loud, there's a DJ playing music and all that stuff. So there wasn't really time to address the camera, say, hey, this is what we're doing, this is how I feel. It was just more getting cinematics. If you like cinematics, those videos were great. If you wanted more information, that's why I'm making this video. So I'll be going through both events, just talking about them, and then I'll answer some questions you guys submitted to me about the events. So, without further ado, let's talk about SEMA 2018. Well, as you guys know, SEMA is pretty much a crazy build show. A lot of different cars come from a lot of areas with engine swaps, crazy body kits, crazy low to the ground, all of that sort of stuff. And that was a really, really cool show. SEMA is huge. I never really knew how big it was until I went there. I always thought that it was sort of like the Chicago Auto Show in the fact that there was one big hall full of vendors. And there is one big hall full of vendors. But then there's another big hall full of vendors. And then there's an upstairs room that's a hall full of vendors. It is massive. So much so that I actually didn't even go to one of the halls, and I spent the entire day at the show. I didn't make it to the last hall, which unfortunately had a 4-rotor RX-7 in it and a Rocket Bunny FC, but luckily both of those cars were at SevenStock, which those were actually the only two cars that went from SEMA to SevenStock. Worked out that way that I happened to then see them a couple days later, but that's besides the point. SEMA is massive, so I apologize if I missed stuff in the video. There's just so many cars to see. But other than that, it's a great, great event. It's invite only from what I understand, and so it's cool to be going to an industry event. There's no little kids, which I don't hate little kids, but like, there's no crying, there's no strollers, which makes a huge difference. And so it felt a lot more exclusive, although there were tons and tons of people there. But like you guys saw in the video, a lot of cool Mazdas there. There was that really cool Roadster body kit for the Miata. Kind of made it look like a Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. There was the Rocket Bunny, there was the white FC Rocket Bunny kit, and a bunch of other stuff. That was a really, really fun event. Vegas was a lot of fun. I had never been to Vegas before. So it was really fun to experience Vegas like that. Now, before we get on to SevenStock, just moving chronologically, I did stop at the Peterson Auto Museum, which a lot of you guys probably saw on the channel. I posted 4 just quick, super easy walk-around videos. I actually filmed them on my phone and posted them in my hotel room in Los Angeles. Super simple videos, but Peterson Auto Museum is something you guys should definitely check out. Until next April, I want to say, they have an original Cosmo there. They had a R130, I believe. I forgot what it's called. A really tiny one, of the first Mazdas ever. Piston engine, but one of the first Mazdas. And then upstairs they had a Luce, or Luce, however you pronounce it, which is the only front-wheel drive factory rotary ever made. And then they had the FD concept car. So I posted walk-around videos of all of those on the channel. But if you're in the Los Angeles area or Southern California, definitely check that out. If you want to see an original Cosmo, I think admission was 15 or 20 bucks. And if you do go on the Vault Tour, there is a Vault Tour that's 2 hours long. It's super interesting, but there are no Mazdas down there. So if you're a Mazda-only guy, you can save some money. You don't have to go on the Vault Tour, but they do have like $30 million Ferraris and stuff, so that's pretty neat. All right, on to SevenStock, which was amazing. It was a hot California day, at least hot for me. It was like 87, but there's just so much to see and do. If you're a rotary guy, it's kind of like the pilgrimage you have to pay and go out to Southern California, because it's one of the largest rotary meets ever. They had the 767B, which I posted a video about there. They had older FB, or actually SA race car. They had an RX-2 race car that actually raced. They had a bunch of different stuff. out there. There's tons and tons of vendors. Literally, I wish that was a 2-day event because it was almost hard to squeeze everything into one day. They have the 767B making passes a couple times throughout the day and all that stuff. So that was a really, really cool event. A lot of people actually came up to me and said hello, which I'm super grateful for. If you came up and said hi, there was a couple people that I was just walking, getting food or something, and they said, "Hey, Zach," and I turned, and unfortunately I didn't recognize them, and then they said how they watched the channel, and that really does mean a lot to me. If you guys ever see me at events like that, please come up to me, say hello. I got a message later from a guy asking if I was at the event, and he said he thought he saw me. Definitely just come up and say hi, because that's really cool. I'm still a little awkward about it because I don't know how to handle people just coming up to me, but I do want to meet you guys. I think it's really cool to actually meet the people that comment on the videos. I think that's super, super neat. Speaking of which, let's get to the questions you guys have for me. I posted on Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me at FBZack, Z-A-C-K, or Shooting Cars, which I'll talk about that after we do the questions. So let's get to those, if my phone will load them. So the first one comes from Alex. Do you plan on doing any autocross or track events with the FB next season? Okay, so I guess this isn't all SevenStock questions, but yes, I do plan on autocrossing, actually probably track events with the FB next season. That's the goal, is to get comfortable with the current power, and then next winter, so a year from now, pull the engine and port it. That's the rough guess, rough plan as of now. But yeah, I want to get comfortable with the car. I want to do a wheel, suspension, and a seat before then. So hopefully we'll maybe do that over the winter. Not sure yet. RotoTurd asks, cost to attend. So it costs $10 to get into SevenStock, which is not bad at all. That covers your parking. And then food. Food was kind of pricey. It was food trucks. I got a hot dog and a big thing of fries. I was just fine with the fries. I took like 3 bites of the hot dog and gave it to my brother. That was like $17. But other than that, really the main money you're going to be spending at SevenStock is at all the booths. Literally, I went up to almost every booth and either bought a sticker or a shirt or something like that. Speaking of which, this is the SevenStock 21 shirt. Pretty neat. And then on the back, there's like a Repu and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really a pretty low-cost event if you don't buy a bunch of food and a bunch of apparel. What was the coolest part of Project FB RX-7's masterpiece of an RX-7? That comes from Jack R. Lawrence on Instagram. So, if you guys saw in the video, I took probably the most shots of it. It was a white FB that actually went on to win, I believe, Battle of the Builds at SEMA. He won some awards. The guy seems super cool. He reached out to me on Instagram after I tagged him in a Instagram story, so the guy seems really neat. That FB was super, super clean. It was really nice. It had a really cool hatch on it. I don't know if that's the Mariah hatch or not. It's an inverted hatch, which I'll show a video here. But I think the coolest part was the engine bay because it was so clean. And having worked on my engine bay of the same year, RX-7, I know that engine bay is not clean from the factory. There's a lot of holes on the shock towers and all that stuff, just bolt holes. There's up on the driver's side fender, there's 2 holes where the stock igniters go in. He covered those up really smooth, all that stuff. Just really the engine bay was so clean on that car. So that was really, really cool to see, and probably my favorite part of his car. How did the Racing Beat FB look? So I have a picture of it. I believe that's the one he's talking about, is outside the Racing Beat booth. Really cool. It was a really clean FB. That's the thing, is that in California, the FBs are so nice and clean. Who was the best person you met there and why? This is from Louis Gucci. The best person I met, actually, I've been meaning to talk about this, was John Vargas. The guy who tuned Hertz car. He has a 400 horsepower FB. He's on the Hoonigans a lot. He's Vargas _FB, I believe, on Instagram. Really, really cool guy. He was just walking, and I went up to him and I said hello, and it wasn't like an awkward celebrity exchange. Like, it wasn't like, oh, hey, I'm a big fan. He was like, okay, and then went on with his day. I asked him about his FB. He told me a bunch of stuff that he's going to do to his FB. He's got plans, you know, to do this and that. He's going to wrap in a livery, and we had a conversation, and hopefully I was talking to him, and I offered up for him to come on my podcast, and he said if he has time, if we can set something up, he would definitely be down. So that would be really, really cool to get him on the podcast. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I've definitely reached out to him. He has since DM'd me on Instagram, so we're going to try to work something out. But yeah, he was a really, really cool guy to meet. Alberto9324, longtime viewer. Any Priuses? No. Actually, I did a review coming out next week. There's a Prius turning in the background for quite a long time in the shot, so look out for that, but other than that, no. Cowbell Customs, another longtime viewer. How bad do your feet ache? LOL. Really, really bad. Especially, probably the worst at SEMA, just because the day before, me, my brother, and my dad, we walked the entire strip of Vegas up and down. It was all the way down and back up, and then all the way down, and then we Ubered home. So I guess the length of it 3 times. So our feet were killing us, and then we went to SEMA, which is a whole nother day of walking. So it was really nice to find those booths that had like the padded carpeting. That was heaven. Favorite car you saw there? From Colin Wilson. Not sure which one you're referring to, so I'll give both. At SEMA, my favorite car, honestly, the Rocket Bunny FC was really, really cool. But I did talk to some guys who had an M3 E30 that they put a 2015 M3 engine into that had never been done before. And it was really, really clean build, really, really cool. But the guys were like my age, so I sort of connected with them, and they were talking about how they hacked up a bunch of other E30s to, you know, make it fit and all this stuff. And so I've never built anything on their scale, but I kind of, because we were the same age, we kind of connected on that, and they were really, really cool guys. Let me find their Instagram real quick to give them a shout out if you want to see a really, really cool E30. So their Instagram is Honest Assembly, just spelled Honest Assembly. Really, really cool E30. At SevenStock, my favorite car, that's tough. It was really cool to see the 767B in person, but other than that, there was so much cool stuff. There was some really clean repos there. Oh, you know what? No. You know what my favorite car there? It was actually an NSU R80, I believe, which was one of the... It had a rotary in it, an NSU rotary. It wasn't a Mazda rotary, it was an NSU rotary. I thought that was really cool, and the reason I say that that's my favorite car that I saw there is because I'll probably never ever see one ever again. So that was really, really neat. So on YouTube, I got 2 comments on my quick little post. Did you see any AE86 out there? George Zoit post. I don't think so. I don't remember seeing any 86s. Yeah, not that I can say. And then a Postuma, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but they commented, what was the most weird engine swap that you saw? Probably the weirdest engine swap that I saw was a Porsche. It was I want to say like 80s, maybe late 70s Porsche, and it had a K-Series Honda 4-cylinder in the back. That was just like the weirdest thing. I would never think of putting a Honda K-Series motor into a vintage Porsche, but they did. It looked like it fit there, and it looked really clean, so I have to say props to that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my little recap. I know this is actually a lot longer than I thought it would be, but let's go over just a slight channel update before we move on. If you've made it this long, thank you. I love you. Next week, I have 3 reviews coming out. I have 3 reviews in the bag. If you'd like to know what those reviews are, head on over to shooting_cars on Instagram. I will post what those reviews are. If you just can't wait to see what cars I've driven, definitely check that out. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time, there will be a new review each day. And then hopefully some sprinkled in rotary Mazda videos throughout there. Hopefully I should be filming a Mazda memorabilia tonight. Probably also be driving my FB for the last time this year tonight, because it's supposed to snow tomorrow, and when it starts snowing here in Chicago, they start salting. And once the salt is laid down, I don't bring the car out. So, that is a channel update. That is a recap. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Kind of a long video, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.